Hey, how's it going? I've been looking to do some new types of content, maybe some stuff that's a little more freeform rather than my standard scripted stuff. So I reached out to my bros at the Calamari Race Team subreddit, and I asked if there was any community members that people were interested in hearing from. I got quite a bit of feedback, which was nice, and that led me to creating this. What I've got for you today is an interview with Ride the Piggy. He's a general memer, shitposter, bullier. He was a pretty cool dude, and he was willing to waste some time with me on a holiday weekend. Without further ado, enjoy. Well, thanks, brother, for agreeing to do this. Take time out of your holiday weekend. That's awesome. So let's start. What do you want me to call you?
Let's go with Piggy.
Piggy. All right. So just, without getting too personal or too, whatever you're comfortable with, where do you live at, like, generally?
Yeah, I'm over here in Eastern Washington. I live in Spokane, Washington. Most people can find that stuff online. It's pretty easy to pick me out on Instagram, things like that. Do a lot of riding here. In the wintertime, it's all snowboarding season. So I've got my mix of both sports there.
What bike? How many bikes do you own?
So I've the Ducati Street Fighter. I've got a YZ 250 dirt bike. It's a 2-stroke, and then got a couple of project bikes in the garage that my wife and I are working on. It's kind of shared. I always tell people in the garage we have 6.5, 7.5 bikes.
How your bike? Your wife rides?
Oh yeah, she rides too. She actually got me into riding. That's how it all started.
Oh,
I was a car guy growing up, super into cars, and she's like, how come you don't do motorcycles? I was like, as a kid, I always figured I would hurt myself, like as a 16-year-old. So I just got into cars instead. Then she's like, well, bikes are cheaper and they go faster. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah, I know why you live out in Eastern Washington now, because that's the only place you're going to be able to get a garage large enough to fit all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I considered getting a Ducati. What would you like? So my concern was that the work would be hard, or that it would be hard to get service. Do you do like your own work, or?
For the most part, I do most of my own stuff. The only thing I probably wouldn't touch is the valves. So you have the Desmo valves. I got a couple older guys around here that have been riding Ducatis for years. They always tell you when you get to the 4 valves with the Desmo, you need 4 arms to do the work. So it's like good luck trying to hold all the valves down while you're doing your work. So they're just like, don't even bother with that.
So what's your recording setup? You got GoPro?
Yeah, I use the GoPro Hero Plus, actually sitting in front of me here. So it's an older one.
Still works?
Oh yeah, it works great. Still gets 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's really all I look for. I'm not looking to try to edit 4K video. I've heard that gets to be a huge headache. So, and I think I picked it up for like $180 off Amazon a while back.
How do you mount it?
I put it on the chin bar on my Icon Armada.
Okay.
So I have it right where it comes down, where your visor clicks into. I have it right in the center.
Yep.
It cuts down on the wind noise a lot, because a lot of the wind noise gets wrapped around your head.
I like the chin too. That's where I put mine, because I feel like it gives you a really good like POV of like what you actually see. Whereas like if it's on top or on the side or whatever, you kind of get, it's not quite exactly what you're seeing.
Yeah, I call it the Teletubby effect.
Yeah, Tinky Winky. You get your little
Tinky Winky. There you go. You knew the name.
Oh shit! Oh, I just fucking sold myself up the river.
It's nauseating too. Like if people are watching it and they don't have like that point of reference, like the front of your bike or anything like that, it makes it nauseating to watch.
Yeah,
like your floating head. It's weird.
All right. So the first thing I want to ask you about, as far as the stuff you've submitted, and I don't want to be like a downer here, but you've got this video. I mean, I live in Washington, right? This video of you riding in the rain is this your wife?
Yeah, it was my wife and my buddy John. At the very my buddy John's the guy behind me with like the high vis jacket on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so and you go down. Tell me what happened.
Right. I can tell you the story. So a little bit before the video, because I cut out and trimmed a lot of this clip. Like I said, I record all the time when I'm writing. So there's really like a 15-minute clip of us riding in the rain, and I trimmed it down to about the minute of the important stuff. But we're at a bar. I get a call from my friend. She's having a birthday party out in Liberty Lake, Washington. It's like a 20-minute ride. We're like, we'll just get on the highway, blast down there. As we're going, and this is like summer, I don't know, 3 years ago now. I want to say it's like 3 years. It was like 85 degrees. It's hot. I've got nothing but a button down, some jeans on, my gloves, helmet, the normal stuff that I wear. And we're heading out, and it just starts pouring on us, just complete downpour out in the middle of nowhere. Like the highway's dry and then it's wet. So we actually pop off an on ramp. stop for a second. I look at it. I was like, I can see dry right in front of this storm. Let's just go through it. So you get back on, which was the dumb part. This is the stupid. We get back on, and you can kind of tell because I'm coming down an on ramp. We're both in the right lane. She moves over. I move over. Then she's like, these guys are going too slow. They're going like 30 miles an hour on the highway. This is stupid. She moved over again, and I started to follow her. And then when we started to shift back, I hit one of the big tire grooves in the road, from all the wear.
Yeah.
And I hydroplaned.
To me, it looks like you hit that area, and then there's so much water there. And I mean, like I've been researching like rain writing for a video I'm doing, and it's like I can't think of a time I ever really remember hydroplaning in any significant amount. But it looked like you hit that, and it slowed like the front of your wheel down to the point where like your rear still had like too much power, and then because of that like lost traction. That's what it looked like to me.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, I'm going in it, and when you get hit those grooves, it kind of pushes your bike into it. It's wide enough. It's in your rear tire, and my front probably slowed a bit because I was on the throttle. I was staying 50, 55 steady, and then my rear was spinning. You can see that in the video. If you put it in super slow motion, you can see the RPMs start to kick up, and it says I'm going like 99 miles an hour, which it's not true. It's just wheel speed.
Sure.
And then I look back at my wheels next to me, and I'm like, that's not good. It throws me off the bike. And it chucks me over the bike. I do one somersault. I land on my back, and I had a backpack on, which is funny because the backpack had my riding jacket, my riding pants. So I'm like, my gear did save me, but just in a different way. So, it's not always best when it's on you. Sometimes it's better if it's in your backpack. So I land on my backpack. I slide on my wallet, which I wish I had in front of me right now. My wallet just got mangled. It was a leather wallet, and it just ate most of the blow. Like I slid on the highway for a good 150 to 200 feet, and then I rolled towards that guardrail, and I was like, "Oh shit, guardrail!" And I tuck my shoulder, and I roll off of it, and then I just get up, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm fine." Just go pick up the. It was frustrating. I looked back, and I see all the traffic behind me. I was like, all right, no one's gonna run me over. That's fine. Right. And then I turn and look, and there's my bike, and it's going next to me, going a little bit faster than I am. And I'm like, shit, that's not good. And then I look forward, and that's when I saw the guardrail. But
so did you like you said, yeah, you're like wearing a t-shirt and your jeans look cut up. Like, did you get any serious like injuries from this?
Zero injuries. I think I might have had like a little scuff on my elbow at the time, but not even enough to give me, like a scar from road rash.
That's amazing.
The worst of the injuries at the end of the clip when I pick up that bike and you see the crankcase cracked, all the oil's just spilled out. And I'm just like, oh, it's like the bike's blood just poured out onto the highway.
Yeah, if you would have walked away from that and actually if you would have ridden away from that, I would have been very, very surprised.
So I cut the clip off because I started talking to my wife. She was like, you're in shock, you need to take it easy. I'm like, I'm not in shock. I've wrecked before, just not on a motorcycle. I've wrecked on BMX and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm fine. No injuries. Nothing's broken. It's not the adrenaline that's keeping me going. And I was like, but we need to get off the highway because I just wrecked the highway.
So are you like a 24/7 rider? Do you ride like all the time or?
I ride as much as I can. I used to do a lot more. I would do some really stupid like winter riding. I'm like, oh, it's 15 degrees out, but it's dry, so I'm going to go. I've learned with the more powerful bikes that it becomes a little bit more of a problem. Like the tires take a little longer to warm up, and I just get a lot of wheel spin. I try to go out, I make a corner, and I start to come out of the corner, it just spins. I'm like, I'm not going to risk throwing this Ducati down the road just because I wanted to ride when it was 15 degrees out. So.
Yeah, I lived in Alaska for 7 or 8 years, and I did the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's dry enough. There's no ice on there's no ice on the main road. It just got to chip it to get out of my driveway or whatever.
Yeah, I have pictures and stuff of me on my SV650 out in the snow. So it was dumb, but it was a lot of fun. I recommend it for everyone at least once.
Yeah, try it. It's a skill building exercise. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was this GIF you got here. Mainly, I just wanted to like applaud you because this GIF of you wheeling past this school bus.
Oh, the school bus.
Yeah.
That was an old one. Yeah.
What I love about it is like this is the exact thing that like got me into motorcycles as a kid. I would see shit like that and I was like, like 5, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Some 10 or 12-year-old is like, man, I saw that guy out there with that bright green helmet and that bright red bike, and that wheelie was cool. So I'm gonna do that when I get older.
I try to do my best when I see like little kids and stuff. Give them the like finger wave, like the bikes are generally loud and like they're interesting. You see them like looking out the window, and I always like to like be the friendly motorcycle guy that's like, hey, this isn't intimidating. I'm cool,
Yeah.
Like it kind of bucking that trend of like I guess the Harley, the coked out Harley rider who's like the drug dealer, or whatever, like or the gang member.
Which I've never seen it. It's such a weird stereotype. It's like it only exists in movies.
Yeah, a lot of people have been watching. I have not seen all the way through Sons of Anarchy, but people been apparently a lot of people are fans of that show.
That's probably brought us back like 10 years.
Now the next one I had was this. So mainly it's a question. Did you ever play the original Pokemon games?
Oh yeah, of course. I've played pretty much every single one of them.
Did you like Red Blue? Like, is that where you started?
Yeah. I'm a little older than some of the kids out there, so I started on the original Red and Blue.
Have you bought like? Are you still up? Do you play like Sun and Moon or any of that?
Yeah, I have Sun and Moon. I didn't pick up the new Ultra
Sun, Ultra Moon, not yet. Okay, all right. I'm less mad then because the reason this gets my jimmies. I have a hairdresser, this gay dude named Dylan. He's awesome. But I don't remember what happened, but he was talking about Pokemon, and he was like, "Oh, do you play Pokemon?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I do. I played it like since I was like 10. Whatever. It came out when I was in like 5th grade or whatever." And he was like, "Oh yeah, my friend plays it all the time." Blah 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 blah. But then he describes it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's so annoying. He's always like going places and like going to parks." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, Dylan, I don't play that shit. I don't play that game. Like I'm talking about real like Pokemon." And then I had to explain to him what the actual Pokemon game was because he didn't even understand that it was like another thing.
I mean, it's kind of cool what they did with Pokemon Go, but it was not really a game.
Okay, have you? So you don't play it anymore, or you don't like?
No, I played it for a while, and I've heard they've done a bunch of updates on it and like added more Pokemon and more features and stuff like that. But man, it's a battery killer, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. I know. When I played it for like 2 or 3 weeks. It was like everybody did like for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was like you had to have the screen like open and the app open, and it was just like holy shit. Like, but you're right. I totally agree. Not too much.
Experience. We got to go out. We've explored areas of town that we have never been to before. Met a lot of weird people. Met a lot of cool people. It was interesting. I got free donuts from a place because they saw a bunch of people sitting out at the park and they closed up shop and they're like, "Hey, here's our donuts for the day. You guys just like eat them up." And we're like, "Sweet, that's pretty good."
Yeah.
So if you look at towards the end of the GIF, when I look away, I'm looking at my wife and her Tuono. So
oh, that's who it was. Okay, yeah. That's funny. Anyway, sorry, I just had to harass you about that, and I feel better that you actually played the real Pokemon games. I feel like I can connect with you there, and I don't have to like, go all elitist and gatekeeping on you and be like, "I played the real Pokemon."
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't ask what the favorite Pokemon was.
Okay, yeah. What's your favorite?
So my favorite is probably the stupidest one. It's the ice cream cone, Vanillux.
Oh my god, I agree. That is the stupidest one.
I love it because 1, it's so stupid, and 2, I really like ice cream.
One, you gotta admit, that one kind of jumped the shark a little bit. Like, I mean,
not as bad as the garbage bag.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it is one of those things. I try not to be judgmental about it, but it's like it's a fucking ice cream cone. That's really what we're going with. So this GIF where you roll up and then a cop is just like immediately behind you. What's the story with this? What happened?
That was a magic policeman, I swear. So it's my buddy Mark and I were riding, and he's got this beautiful R1, and we're screaming down some of the back roads in downtown Spokane, and we're heading to this place called the Viking, which is a pretty nice bar over by Spokane Arena. And we're doing a couple of wheelies, nothing too stupid. We're not doing 110 down a 30 or anything like that. And I'm always looking around. I'm keeping an eye out. And we pull into the parking lot, and I turn around. I'm getting off the bike. I don't even look. As I'm turning around, I notice out of the corner of my eye, there's someone behind me, and I look, and I'm like, "There's a cop there." I was like, "Mark, do you see the cop?" Because I think we had our Bluetooth on. I was like, "Where the fuck did this guy come from?" It's not like he's just rolling up too. He stopped behind us already, and he didn't notice. He didn't see us do any wheelies. He said he heard our bikes because Mark's got that Yosh system that what is it, like the R55 or something like that. Super nice, super loud, and then my Terminiani full system, and it's like 3-inch straight pipes basically. The bikes, they tell everyone where we are. So I think the cops heard us. He figured we were speeding, pulled in. He was like, "Well, I didn't catch you guys doing anything, but don't do it again."
Okay.
Like,
Fuck
you
you
got
too.
it.
Yeah. Whatever,
He
dude.
didn't even get off his bike. He didn't run our plates. He didn't check our IDs. Nothing. He just told us not to do it again. He turned around and left.
I don't know what you did, but I can tell you did something. Fuck you. Get off my ass. Go harass some kids that are whatever like loitering. Go kick some loitering kids off of something or whatever.
Yeah.
He looks really nonplussed in that image. Like he's like,
Yeah, doing that pointing at you.
well, it's probably his face where he's like, I can't do anything to fuck with this guy legally, and so he's frustrated. It's like that impotent feeling, you know. Like I think the last thing I had was this mainly this. So this video of you looks like you're probably commuting. My only real question about this, because this is literally like for me this is like what my commute looks like every day. So this doesn't really look that unique. How can you actually see through these mirrors? Like I've considered getting these mirrors before, but they don't look functional to me.
You got to send me that video, but I'm guessing you're talking about my little
The little
blind spot.
The little yeah, the
Blind-
little like yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a 2-inch. It's from CRG. Yeah, actually, I think it works better than my stock ones did,
Really?
which is yeah. I think the biggest issue with the Ducatis, it would vibrate. The mirrors would just vibrate like
Yeah.
nuts. You can't see anything. So you're like, well, there's a light behind me, but it's just shaking. So I don't know if that's a car or another bike or if it's 20 people behind me. So I got the little blind spot. Plus, it cleaned up the look a lot. Like it pulled the lines down on the bike, and it got rid of just those big ugly stalks that are sitting up on top. And then having it by my throttle hand was nice because then when I would pull a wheelie, I can still look as I'm, my hands are up in front of me. I can still see behind me. It's a pretty good. I think just having a clear image is more important than having a lot of it. So I can see directly behind me because I have it angled so that I can see like a car behind me. So I check when I get to a stoplight, check behind me, make sure no one's going to hit me.
Some of the meta stuff I wanted to ask you about. So you're like one of the few people that like I see. It's easy, like it's an easy circle jerk to be like, oh, blah blah blah, like Moto's a bunch of uptight assholes and CRTs are all the cool people. Like, how do you feel about the difference between the two subs?
I think 4 or 5 years ago, there was a pretty huge difference. I think the narrative has changed a bit. I think there's a couple of guys that are pretty regular on the subreddit, or at least used to be pretty regular on the subreddit, that kind of redirected that. And you still see it in the comments, but you probably noticed now, like if you uploaded a wheelie GIF on Wheelie Wednesday next week, you'll get some hate, some flack a little bit, which is fine. Not everyone likes them. But you'll see those comments are downvoted. And it's not like we're going out brigading and stuff like that. It's just normal R Motorcycles guys that are going out there and like, you know what? You don't need to say that. Just downvote them.
Right.
Just get past it. It's this weird like Reddit mentality. Like these guys don't actually ride. They're just guys that sit and talk about bikes all the time. They're the ones that are always very vocal about stuff like that. So it's, they talk about the armchair guys, armchair writers, or lately with like the EA fiasco was the armchair developer.
Sure.
Made that joke. And I'm like, man, it's the same thing you see in these small subreddits everywhere you go. It's like the same type of person. So I think CRT is definitely a huge circle jerk. That's why we created it. That's where it started. It was for us to go somewhere and circle jerk each other and be like, hey, I love doing your wheelies. I love doing the stoppies. I want to see you go fast, do burnouts. I just want to see stupid shit and not have someone sitting there judging me for it all the time. Because I don't really care. If guys are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You'll probably kill somebody one day or you'll kill yourself. I don't really care, dude. I don't need to hear your opinion. I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. And I realize there's consequences for it. And one of these days, I'll probably get pulled over and get a fat ticket. It happens. But
till that point, I'm going to have a good time. And like, yeah. Yeah, it's like the libertarian view to riding is kind of how I feel about it as well. How did you get so good at wheelies?
Just practice. Just do it a lot.
You ride a dirt bike though.
Honestly, I do have a dirt bike, but I didn't start doing dirt until pretty much like late last year. I don't even think that I'm really all that great at wheelies. I just do a lot of them.
You actually? So the reason I have an R1 is so I can just power wheelie, so I can just like rip it and just like go in first or second or whatever. And I've been trying to clutch it, and I fucking suck at it. And I looped a bike a really long time ago, and so like I kind of have that internal fear of like just going like a little bit too far and doing that. So do you use the clutch? Do you like do the real wheelies or whatever?
I do clutch ups most of the time. One, it sounds cool. To throw back to that old video on that Gixxer forum at the sounds cool, especially when you have a bike like the Ducati with like that exhaust tone. It just why else would you do it? Just like ripping on it sounds pretty good. But getting the RPMs to snap like that just sounds amazing.
Sure.
So yeah, clutch ups are preferred. I'll do a power wheelie every once in a while. Like coming off the line, I can do a power wheelie pretty easy. If I really like just crack the whip, I can just pull it up and just ride that out a little bit. But yeah, there's more risk in power wheelies. It's like the power just gets exponential. So as you go a little higher, it wants to snap you back even further. You have to be careful.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for me to control. Like that's like I'm like I don't know. Like I'm gonna clutch it out too hard and like let it go, and like that's my biggest fear with clutch ups. Where I don't know. I think it's probably just because I got more practice like doing the power wheelies of just like the right kind of motion and the right amount of power. For someone like me who sucks at clutch wheelies, what's like one simple piece of advice that you might give me that I might be able to like get a little bit better?
Biggest piece of advice, other than just practice, because that's the first thing everyone always says. It's getting over the fear is the hardest part. Absolutely. So most people just say grow some balls, go out there and do it. Probably the best way to do it. So yeah, you got to do it. You got to practice and just do it often. Doing it right helps a lot. So there's a couple people that put some really good tutorials out there. Caffeine's wrote a nice one up for like the FZs where he does like the two different types of clutch ups because you can kind of drag your plates a little bit when you do that, or you can just snap it open. And some people do it differently. There's different methods. I don't like dragging my plates because you can burn your clutch out. I have a dry clutch in the Ducati, so you can smell it when I start doing that too much.
I'm
You know that
I'm
clutch.
gonna give some of my ignorance here, but what do you mean drag the plates? I guess I don't know what that means.
So like instead of just popping the clutch out on your left hand,
Yeah,
when you give
yeah.
the throttle, you pop the clutch out. You kind of just slowly release it, and you'll feel that like the drag point where the plates start hitting,
Okay.
and you hold it there as you're throttling, which sounds like a terrible idea, but it works. It
Yeah.
will wheel.
Okay. All right. So I am trying to do it the correct way then. It sounds like 'cause that is what I've been doing.
Yeah,
As
it's more of a
opposed to just
snap.
like literally releasing it or whatever. I guess that's the other option is literally just like releasing the clutch and
Smooth, quick action. Yeah,
okay.
it's like, do you shoot guns at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like pulling a trigger. You're not just like angrily snapping at it. It's a smooth, precise action that you pull the trigger, and that's kind of how I think about it when you do the clutch. It's like pulling a trigger.
Okay. That's a good analogy. I like that analogy.
Pull the trigger on your left hand, crack the whip on your right hand.
So outside bikes, we talked a little bit. You like games. Do you do PC games too?
I used to do a lot of PC games, a lot of MMOs and stuff. I used to be one of those guys that had like 2 or 3 computers, and I'd play multiple accounts at the same time.
You did say you were in IT, so I pretty much took that for a given.
I did that. I used to sell World of Warcraft accounts. I'd grind them up to 60 back when 60 was the max, and I'd sell them.
Oh my
Um,
God. Okay.
that's my the three system because I would have 2 running like on follow, and I would just like get the XP for them real quick and
Yeah.
then
So you'd
sell it.
multi-box. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a terrible addiction, bad bet. And people talk about how much money you spent on bikes. I think I spent more on computer stuff, so I got away from it, and I just do console mostly now.
Okay. Console, do you do like shooters or?
Not really. Most of it is Rock Band. I think most of my time is spent with Music Rhythm, and then I play Switch a lot because I like Nintendo's product. I like
I
Mario.
I really like the Switch.
Yeah,
Did you have a Wii U?
I did. I've had every Nintendo system.
Is this a video of you playing this Rock Band song? Uh,
Um,
let me
shoot it over. What are
let
you
me
looking
link it
at?
in Discord here. Excited
No,
about.
that's not me.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you have any videos of you playing Rock Band like this?
I do. Well, I don't do anything like with the overlay where it's all nice and pretty. I usually
Sure.
just pull like Twitch footage. I used to play Guitar Hero competitively.
What does competitive Guitar Hero look like? Like, did you go places? Like,
Yeah, I used to. So I used to live in the Chicago area, and I would go to bars mostly. This was like the height of Guitar Hero, like Guitar Hero 2 and 3 era, when everyone was talking about it. It was like the big thing.
is that like
So it was like
2007, 2008?
yeah, around that time. So a lot of bars, the radio stations would host it, and they'd be like, "We're going to look for our Guitar Hero of our city and stuff like that." And they would host these competitions. And me being a little bit older, there weren't many people playing that were 21 and over that could go to a bar and play for a radio station contest. So I'd go there and I'd scope out the competition a little bit, and I'm like, "All right, this should be cake." And I'll just blow through the competition. I've been playing music rhythm games since I was like a little kid. That's always been my genre of choice. I'd pick up like $250 here, $500 there. They'd give me like prize packages. I'd win like stereo speakers or I think the biggest thing I ever won was a PV like audio video system, like these huge speakers. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't play real guitar. You guys are giving me all real guitar equipment. I was like, I don't do that. And I tried. I bought a guitar and tried to learn, but I think I'm more of a drummer at heart.
Okay. Well, yeah, the rhythm games definitely I find are kind of it's basically percussion is what it actually is. You're Korean, right?
I am Korean.
This is actually how I knew you were Korean, was because you were good at Rock Band. That's how I figured out. It had literally nothing to do with anything else. Because the only other person I know who was like phenomenal at rhythm games, like literally like my buddy Charles, like I worked at a Best Buy for a long time, and he like came in to check out our Rock Band demo, and he picks it up and he's like, oh, I never played this one before or whatever, like, and I'm like, oh yeah, here, let me explain how it works. And I explain it, and he's like, no, I got it. And he just immediately is like, he like goes up to expert, and I'm like, no, you're going to want to start at the normal mode. Like, you haven't even done this before. And he just aces the first one. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. So I have no doubt that you were a professional Guitar Hero player.
I always joke with people, I'm like, it's the easiest game in the world. It tells you what buttons to hit on the screen.
Yeah, just that old precision and timing thing and coordination between both hands. And like, I play a guitar poorly and could never play that game very well. So I totally believe it's more of a percussion thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I grew up, my cousin had a band. I played drums for him a little bit and stuff like that. I have a drum set. I neglect it, but it's there.
I understand. No hate, no judgment here. I have something. So for doing this, I have something for you. Let me go grab it.
Oh, cool.
Over the summer, one of the guys wanted to do like this custom like CRT hat, and he couldn't afford to like do it. Like we didn't get enough people. Or whatever. It was like, fuck it, I'll front the money. Like I'm sure I can sell them. Well, I didn't really sell enough of them. So so these are the hats. This is what I got for you. I will mail this to you for doing this. Cool. So you can like legit, I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was the most expensive hat I've ever bought because I mean, like it was like $250, and I think I only sold like 6 of them or whatever, and I have like 18. So here we go.
Support it.
Yeah,
perfect. My buddy Caffeine hates when I stick my flat billed hat under my passenger seat.
Your seat, yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks again for doing this. And yeah, we'll see if people care. Griff was on my list of people as well to talk to you about doing this. So I wasn't sure what he posts that's his, though, or not. He kind of like posts a lot of shit that's definitely not just his. So I was like, you had like the most original stuff that I was like, I could tell it was like yours.
Yeah, I go for OC, but Griff has a lot. He's got that graphite FZ09. His wheelies are getting sick, and he's got that beautiful picture of his ass out there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, man. Well, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Once again, thanks to Ride the Piggy. That was fun. Also, if you enjoyed this video, go do my survey. Give me some feedback on who I should talk to next. Or alternatively, tell me how much this sucked, and how stupid it was, and how we weren't funny, and how my beard sucks. I'm trying. As always, ride fast, take chances. Get done.